All right, let's get started. Ah, hello everyone, Soul Commodore back at you again, uh, doing some more painting today. Um, as you can see up here, added another color to this particular canvas. This is the third of three that I'll be working on. Um, but yeah, we've now got two colors on this one, and we're going to be slowly working on some of the other stripes on some of the other canvases as well. Um, we're actually probably going to start by putting the blue on the other canvas that has the blue on it. But I just wanted to show this off, off the jump. So let me just make sure that everything is okay here. Make sure the levels are all right. Make sure we don't have another stream just playing automatically, which of course we do. I was watching some of Nub Zombie playing some Silent Hill, some of his old in-depth playthroughs. That's where I was. So why don't we get started? All right, everything looks good. All right, so first things first. Like I said, we're going to do the second canvas that has the blue on it because we might as well knock out the same colors all at the same time. Also, if you hear some background humming, just like a background hum, uh, please try to ignore it. I've got a fan running in here. Our house, we need our electrical redone, and that's not being done until June. So in the meantime, they recommended that we don't run our air conditioner, but it's starting to get warm out. So instead, I'm running a fan in here. So that should help out some. I would open the window too because it is like a nice temperature outside, but it's that time of day where we've got a lot of traffic on our road because of like school and, well, not school so much, people getting home from work. So it's a little bit noisy outside. So we're gonna keep the window closed. All right, let's see which just using my reference images here, which is just some studies I created to like see how I want these color layouts. All right, it's this one here that we need behind me, right? This. So we got 3, and then 2, and then the yellow, and then 4, and yes, it's the one behind me that we need. All right. So let me minimize that. Hope you all are having a good day so far. I got some. Hey. All right, I'm gonna announce that in a second. Elle, thank you very much for the raid. Let me give you a little shout out here. How was your stream going? I understand it was sketch day today. But thank you very much for the raid. Thank you for sharing your community with me, and trusting your community with me. I hope your I hope your stream went well. But welcome in everybody. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Soul Commodore. I am a painter. I also play some video games every once and again. But today we're doing some painting. So, yo, lazy artist, welcome in. How are you? How are you? I'm painting a bunch of stripes today. It was all D&D all day. Nice. Yo, Mr. Owl, welcome in. How are you? Oh, that's new. It says new introduction. Oh, welcome in. But yeah, so we're gonna be doing some prep painting for a project that I've got going on. Which I'll kind of before we get painting, I'll kind of lay out what we're doing. Since there's some new people in here. So 2 years ago, I had a solo exhibition that was all about grief, and it was a good show. And then I got ideas for a new show where the subject, the show is called Anybody But Myself, and basically it's a show that's all about self and not feeling comfortable with yourself, wishing you were somebody else, because we all have those moments in our lives where we wish we were someone other than who we are. whether it's like we wish we didn't act the way that we did, or we actually wish that we were somebody else because of a tense situation. So what we're working on right now is a series of three paintings in which I'll kind of try and show it up here. Each stripe, each set of stripes that are light colors. So on this one behind me, there's yellow and blue so far. It's going to be a figure, a head from the shoulders up, that's kind of like split up per panel. Hey, Rain, thank you for the glug glug. I'm gonna drink some Diet Coke because my water is behind me over near the fan. So basically, every single one of these canvases is going to be a mosaic of segments of three different people's faces. This is just one aspect of this show that I'm working on. There's, of course, going to be a whole lot of little drawings that are 11 by 11, where there's going to be multiple figures in it, but the only figure who's facing the camera, their face is going to be obscured in some way, distorted in some way. There's a video that I'm going to be working on, but today we're working on these. So basically, we're putting the background colors on all of these canvases. So we already did the yellow and blue on here. This canvas behind me also needs some blue, so we're going to be working on that one next. But I've got two bits of exciting news to share with y'all. I'm not going to go too into detail with the one, because not that it's covered by like an NDA or anything, but it's not completely finalized. But there is a professor from Syracuse University who contacted me after she saw a piece of mine on Instagram, and she wants to use that piece for a cover of one of her books. It is a book that she wrote. It's an academic book that she wrote about. Basically, she's a gender and race studies professor. So it is a book about the protections we put in for children, but not all types of children are protected under the protections that we put in for children. Like there's a lot of LGBTQ youth and a lot of minority youth that are not protected under these. So it's a book all about that, and they want to use one of my pieces for the cover. So that's exciting. And then what's also exciting is with these paintings, in terms of faces, so far 8 of the 9 people that I've asked to contribute their faces for these have gotten back to me and are game. They're letting me use their faces. So so I'm excited about that. The last person didn't say no, they just haven't gotten back to me yet. So hopefully she gets back to me soon. But we're gonna do some taping, and then we're gonna paint these up. But I hope y'all had a good time over at Ella's stream. If y'all need to eat or go to the bathroom or take care of yourself in some other way, you gotta go take a nap, you just need some time away from the screen, please do not feel obligated to stay here. Feel free to go do whatever it is you need to do. I just appreciate y'all being here. You know, it's always good to see y'all. So we're going to do some. Who's texting me? Oh, my wife made it to the massage parlor. It's good. All right. So with this one, the blue is this stripe. This one's brown. This one's blue. This one's brown. This one's blue. Okay. Start with this one up top. Let me get some ASMR for all you. The sound of masking tape. Peeled off. And if the sound of masking tape being peeled off causes you some misophonia, I do apologize. there's not too much I can do about that, unfortunately. But I'm glad that your stream went well, El. I'm always happy when my friends' streams go well. Feel free to, if you want to, and if you can, feel free to post the characters that you created. Okay, this one's blue, right? Yes. Oh, I also got some good news that two of my friends got the letters that I sent them. I've decided, as I am now 34 and I am approaching middle age, um, I'm going to become that dude who sends his friends intermittent letters from time to time, like actual handwritten letters in the mail, you know, because that's just something I want to do. So two of my friends got the letters, and they quite enjoyed it, so that made me feel good. I've got a couple more letters going out, but I haven't quite finished writing them yet. Ah, here we go. I ran out of time on this one, but I had to call it done. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I'm sure this is still awesome looking. Haha. Look at this dude. I like it. I like it. I like the jewelry on the ear. I like the beard and mustache. I like that a lot. Well done. Here's the first one that I mostly had vibes to go off of. Ah, nice, nice. I mean, I would say that's extremely solid for only having vibes to go off of. Very nice. Very, very cool. I also love on your sketches how you have like the number four for FOR. I like that. But yeah, I love the design of this. It's a great little tattoo too that they have around the arm with the deer head. That's great. I love that. A dwarven rogue. Very cool. Very cool. I have to say, and I hope this isn't blasphemous, but I've only ever dragon lineage sorcerer for Zephyr. Nice, nice. Very cool. Uh, I've only ever played D&D once, and incidentally, it was on stream. uh, there was a person early on who decided because I had said that I had never played before. They were like, "Well, you want to try it?" But it was kind of awkward because I was doing an art stream and I couldn't like look at the chat all the time. So, but I got the gist of it. But also, I discovered that day that maybe D&D isn't quite for me. But I quite relish in the fact that um, lots of people super enjoy D&D, and I love the fact that it's more accepted now. Because for a long time, like when I was a kid, uh, we were seen as like a hopeless nerd or like a loner type of kid if you like D&D, which is ridiculous. Dwarf Rogue is such a funny concept. I love it. Nice, nice. Are we gonna get blasphemous? Let's get blasphemous. Christ. Okay, so that's two of the stripes. Now, where are the next three? And I realize that my head is just kind of blocking the way. I apologize for that because the back of my head's looking all nappy and stuff. So, we got blue here on top. We got blue here. This is brown. This is yellow. This one's blue. This one's blue. This one's blue. And then this very end one is blue. Okay. Cool. Also, let me know if the music is loud enough or if it's too loud or not loud enough. Please let me know. Because I have no idea, as I've mentioned before. It could be louder, but my voice is more important. That's fair. I turned up a little bit. I won't make it overpowering. There, how's that? Gonna have to clean up some of the line here because some of the yellow can go where I want it to. But that's okay, I can fill that in, no problem. All right. Also, I apologize if y'all were coming in expecting some hard art, like actually like doing the faces or anything like that, but we're still in the preparatory stage. So you get to see the all the behind the scenes stuff that goes into creating something like this. Actually, I think that actually is going to end up all right. Let me grab my level. See how we're doing. Ah, okay. So that means that this was actually right where it was. I mean, these don't have to be perfect. They just have to look perfect. But I can move that down a little, actually. My kingdom for a laser level. Not a fan of the bubble levels. There we go. Okay. So that was that. This is blue, and lasers are so much, just so much fun. That is true. Lasers are dope. Lasers are fun. And now for these last two, I'm actually just gonna put this back on the ground because that'll be easier for y'all to see. Yeah. Move the camera this way a little, so maybe you'll get less of me frame. Man, I don't know how many of you listen to this particular genre of music. I don't know how many of you are fans of it. I'm just gonna quickly touch on this, and then I'll let it go. Man, I have been mad cheesing over this. Anybody who knows me and anybody who's been around here long enough knows how much I love Kendrick Lamar. Um, and Kendrick Lamar dropped a because it's been going back and forth for a bit, but man, Kendrick Lamar dropped a diss track on Drake that just has me smiling from ear to ear. Man, oh man, it's so good. And so layered, like the lyricism is just top notch, which is what you get from Kendrick Lamar. You just get A1 lyricism from him. But my TikTok algo has been nothing but commentary on how Kendrick Lamar roasted the shit out of Drake. Yeah, yeah. That didn't surprise me. I made this joke yesterday, but since it's relevant, oh, that new song made me feel things, namely old and out of touch. That's fair. I mean, that's all right. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Um, Especially like if rap isn't. I mean, I'm not sure with you, El, but I mean, there's a lot of people who have that same feeling, and rap isn't what they listen to primarily. And it isn't what I listen to primarily, but it is one of my favorite genres, and I do try to keep up with it. Um, but it was just what gets me is I'm a sucker for whatever genre of music it is. I like old rap because I'm old. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Gonna have to find one of the explainer videos. Fair. Uh, but basically, for me, what it is I love lyricism, regardless of the genre of music. There are two things I love. If the song has a great bass line, I'll probably love it, right? Because bass is my favorite type of it's my favorite instrument. I love it. It's a big reason why I love old school R&B and funk because I mean, you had to have a good bassist, by and large, right? The bass lines are incredible. Um, and with this particular track, with this particular song, um, the second thing that I really love in music is lyricism. Um, if you are a great songwriter, um, I'm I'm gonna dig your stuff, and that's what Kendrick Lamar has in spades. Like this dude can write a song that I mean he's got two songs that made me cry. You know, Cash Money Records taking over for the 2000s. uh, that's funny, right? Uh, but yeah, I just love good lyricism. Um, so Kendrick Lamar's lyricism just is just top notch, and you knew going in like he was gonna have something to say, and he said it. Man, oh man. Uh, I am using the yellow here. I know I said we are gonna do blue, but there are a couple of areas that I just need to touch up, just because some blue paint got on this one area. I need to touch that up. Uh, One of my friends who lives downstairs, he actually had a run-in with Drake in downtown Toronto once, where he actually pissed off Drake because he called him Aubrey because Drake was trying to mac on some of the girls that they were with, and my friend was just very much ready to go home. Like he was ready to leave, so he was already in a not a bad mood, but his night was over. He was ready to go, and then Drake rolled up and started like hitting on the girls they were with, uh, and trying to get them back to his place and all that kind of stuff, and they weren't interested. And then my buddy called Drake Aubrey, and Aubrey like cussed him out and drove away. I was a high school freshman when Back That Ass Up came out. I know Drake is a dumpster fire, so I wasn't shocked by anything he spit. High school freshman. Yeah, Drake has made some questionable decisions, and by questionable I mean I don't know, borderline illegal. Not great. Not great. Some real groomer mentality. But yeah, so this has been a good couple of days because I got a good Kendrick Lamar diss track, especially because Kendrick Lamar hadn't really done a diss track before, um, like a straight up diss track. So that's exciting. This book cover that my art's going to be on is exciting. The fact that the people that I contact, most of them are friends, like Jake and his wife are going to be subjects on this in this thing. They both agreed to it, so you're going to get to see them depicted on canvas. But the fact that everyone's been game so far is also exciting. You know, because these people are important to me, and I wanted a chance to depict them. Yo, Calico Kitties, welcome in. Welcome in. How have you been? It's been a hot minute. You're right. He has made some bad decisions. Some very bad decisions. Wasn't he trying to mac on Millie Bobby Brown when she was what, like 17? Yeah, that was real suspicious. Real suspicious. Yep. Not great. There we go. Ah, I hope you're doing well, Calico Kitties. It's been a minute. Finished classes for forever. Hey, there we go. Congratulations. Still have to do my dissertation over the summer, but getting really close to being done with school. Congrats. That's a fantastic feeling. I'm right with you, so big congratulations to you. This has been a good day all around. Good news all around. Very glad to hear that. Let's get this paint off this brush, and then we'll move on to the blue. That's a good feeling when your classes are done. How have I been? I've been good. I've been good. Just hanging out with my wife, um, and doing a new an exhibition project, which doesn't have a home yet. But I've got the basic layout of what I want to do for this new exhibition. So we're just doing some background work on this one. Some prep work, I guess, would be a better way to say that. No, I've been very, very well. I was gonna ask. Last I was able to check in, y'all had just gotten engaged. Yes, yes. So we got married later that year. We got married in July. Last July. So uh, yeah, just been enjoying the married life. It is very nice. I'm just kind of consistently happy all the time. Which is fantastic. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's been a good time. It's one of those weird things where like between the two of us, like it feels like nothing has changed, but everything has changed. It's hard to describe, but that's how it feels. Better than the other blue. It is, but whatever. That's fine. I can always repaint the other one to be a lighter blue. Maybe I'll know that someday for myself. Yeah, yeah. I wish that for everybody who wants it. You know, because some people don't want it, and that's perfectly fine. But for those that do, I definitely wish that for them. This can kind of be tricky sometimes because you're trying to keep this color consistent, but I have to mix it on the palette because I don't just have this existing color in a tube. So you kind of have to hope that you're getting it consistently the same across. I mean, it's not a big deal if you don't, but I'm trying to get it as consistent as possible. So what's the theme here? So this particular piece is going to be, um, so there's going to be three different colors of stripes on each of these canvases. On this one, it's blue, yellow, and brown is going to be the third, right? Like a tannish brown. And basically, each one of these colors is going to have a person's face on it, but it's going to be separated. So this will be a segment of their face. This next blue one is going to be a segment of their face. And there's going to basically be a mosaic of three people's faces on this. And it's part of a show that I've titled Anybody But Myself, which is all about identity and not feeling comfortable in your own skin and wishing that you were somebody else from time to time. And the times and reflections that we've had in our own lives where we've felt that way. At least that's the vibe I'm going for with the show. So that's that's the theme. So right now we're just doing the prep work on all these canvases where I'm painting in the different colored stripes. Just getting that work done so that they're all set to actually put the faces on. Yeah, that's the major idea for this set of work. inspired by like the work itself, like the title of the work and the idea for the show is inspired by Kendrick Lamar because we were talking about him earlier. Uh, funny, funny how that worked out. Um, but basically, I had finished 2 years ago. I had finished uh, the Quiet Part Out Loud was on display. I basically spent all of January just doing work for that show, um, getting that solo exhibition done. And I said to myself, I am not even going to think about art like 6 months. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna paint anything. I'm not gonna draw anything. I'm not gonna do anything. Um, or was it? It wasn't 2 years ago. It was last year. Yeah, it was last year. It wasn't 2 years ago. What am I talking about? Time flies. Um, it was just last January. February actually is when it went on display. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is um, what is important is I told myself I wasn't going to do any sort of art. I wasn't going to think about anything. I was just going to take a break. And then it had already released, but I was listening to Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers again because I love that album. And the song Mother I Sober came on again. And I was listening to that, and the chorus is sung by Beth Gibbons of Portishead. And the chorus is, I wish I was somebody, anybody but myself. Because in that song, Kendrick is basically talking about all sorts of like terrible stuff that happened in his life, primarily as a kid, and then terrible things that he's done as he's gotten older. And trying to find forgiveness and recompense and being a better person instead of like falling into old habits and old ways and just becoming a statistic, basically. And I remember thinking, man, anybody but myself would be a great name for a show. And then I started thinking up ideas, and I was like, no, TJ, we weren't going to do this. We were going to relax. But then I started formulating some ideas in my head, started doing some studies, which I never do studies, so that was new. Did a couple of drawings, really liked how they turned out. And then really a couple of weeks ago, at an artist meetup, really started brainstorming some stuff that I could do. And then wrote them all down in a notebook and kind of sketched out some stuff. And now here we are. I basically got a full idea for all of the pieces in the show. It's going to end up in a way being more pieces than we're in. Not more pieces actually, because there were over 100 plus, like over 120 for the Quiet Part Out Loud. It's not going to be quite that many for this show, but it's going to be varied. It's going to be all sorts of different stuff. There's going to be drawings with paint on them. There's going to be paintings with drawings on them, because this, I think I'm actually going to do the actually, I don't know. I might just paint the people instead of drawing them, because I don't know how I'm going to fix the charcoal without ruining the acrylic paint. But that's for future me to figure out. You know, for now, I'm planning on this having charcoal on it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. You never know. Plans change. Man plans and God laughs. You know. So, and I'm gonna have a video. Like I'm gonna make a video installation, and I'm thinking of doing a sculptural installation too. Not really a sculpture, but it's gonna be like found objects. And basically, it's going to be, because this is again this show is all about identity and not being comfortable with your identity and not feeling like you are who you say you are. Like that's the whole conceit of the show, um, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a collection of products over the years that I've bought and I've done nothing with, because at the end of the day, I didn't buy these products for me. I bought them to impress other people. Um, Whether it's directly impress them or impress them like through. So one thing that I bought, like the first idea that came to mind was I've got a foam roller. I have no interest in foam rolling, but someone I was interested at the time was like really into the gym, and I was like, oh, if she ever comes over and sees a foam roller, she's gonna see that I take the gym serious, which I do, but I don't take foam rolling seriously because I don't like it. It hurts. But I bought that because I was like, oh man, that might look good, you know? So it's one of those things that I bought just not for myself, but for, you know, a future relationship that never ended up materializing, right? So I'm gonna like collect a whole bunch of stuff like that. Stuff that I've held on to, not for me personally, but because it's important to other people, you know? Otherwise I would have gotten rid of it a long time ago, you know? So stuff like that, where it's not really, it's me putting on a facade for others, right? And just kind of putting those on some pedestals, uh, on some plinths, and you know, having them on display. Yeah, that's my big idea for this new show. And there's going to be some other paintings in there that I haven't worked on yet, but it's going to be all sorts. I'm kind of branching out in terms of the media that I'm using, being a little more adventurous than just doing. Because the previous show, one of the things I did was actually tear up some drawings. So that's interesting. Never really thought about how other people influence you into doing things you don't really want to do. Yeah, yeah. And sometimes that's for the better. Um, and sometimes you kind of lose yourself a little bit, you know, because you want to fit in. You want to be part of that group. You want to be part of that clique. You want to be part of something, you know, even if it's not really what you're about. And I have to thank. I'm very thankful that I've never had a group of people around me where I've changed my moral character, like who I am as a core person. Like that's never really changed, um, in terms of like the morals that I hold and the things that I believe. Like that's never, as an adult, like that's never really changed. No one's like changed me for the worse, you know. Um, so I'm very thankful for that, because it's very easy for people to influence you in the wrong direction, you know. So, all right, that's three of them done. All of my influences, thankfully, have been positive ones. And the video is going to be full of voiceovers of myself, and I'm thinking I might actually get some other people to read them too. But the video is going to be voiceovers of me. Uh, well, they're all going to be stories of mine from my life, and these are all true, of times in my life where I wished I was somebody else. You know, and some of them are going to be kind of funny, like the time that I was in grade 1 and I went to the bathroom and there was a fire drill, and then a teacher yelled at me for being in the bathroom during a fire drill, and I was like, I didn't know what was happening because it wasn't a planned fire drill. It was a surprise fire drill. And why my teacher let me go to the bathroom, because she knew when the fire drill was. The faculty knew. And why she let me go to the bathroom, I don't know. But in that moment, when I was being scolded, I wished I was somebody else. And then there's going to be more serious ones, where, like for instance, when I was in university, my first year at university, I lived on a floor, and I didn't have very high self-esteem. Now, granted, 2 people on that floor, one of whom is going to be depicted in this. The 2 women who lived across the hall from me in my dorm, who have since become lifelong friends. They helped me learn who I wanted to be, and it basically made me a better person, and I'll always be thankful for that. But even that notwithstanding, I still had self-esteem issues. And part of that was, like, at the time I was extremely overweight. And I didn't like a whole lot of my attitude that I would take into class, because I wasn't in first year, like I got my first failing grade that I had ever gotten in my life. So I was feeling down about that. My art teacher at the time, my first year professor, was making me question whether I wanted to even do art, right? Because she was such a harsh critiquer, and really didn't like any of the stuff that I did that year. At least that's how it seemed on the surface. Um, you know? And so in a lot of aspects, I was feeling really low. Um, and I remember at the end of the year, we had this thing where we called them warm fuzzies, where basically we would write little notes of affirmation or just nice things about everyone on the floor, right? So I wrote a whole bunch of nice stuff for a lot of other people, and I remember that the RA wrote on my note, like he wrote me a note, and he left it in there, and he said, I still have it. He said, you have a sense of self that I'm envious of, because I'm still looking for that within myself, you know? And I think it's helped a lot of people on this floor mature. Just being around you and seeing how strong your sense of self is. And I remember reading that and being like, yeah, but I hate myself, you know? So, but you don't want to let anyone know that, you know? It's like, I don't like the person that I am. And that's even with, like, my 2 friends across the hall that I met at school, like, making me feel much better about myself than I had before, you know? I still wasn't very happy with the person who I was and the person I was becoming. That didn't really change until I was, like, out of school and, like, taking classes again to, like, finish my degree when I was like 23. And I started really working on myself, have a better outlook on things, and working on myself physically and all that. So, you know. So, yeah. Basically, I think this show is going to be a therapy session for me again, because the quiet part out loud certainly was. uh, so yeah, that's what that story is going to be in the video. Um, that's one of the stories I've got planned for the video. So we're going to be working on this stripe while the painting sits on my lap, so hopefully it doesn't tip over. This is a dangerous territory here, but I like to live dangerously. And I'm hoping that like people will watch the video and like look at this artwork and be able to take something out of it where they can relate, you know? Because really at the end of the day, that's what I'm hoping for, is that people will be able to look at my stuff and be like, oh man, I feel that, you know? That's what you always hope for as an artist, that people will be able to stuff and be able to take something from it, you know? And that doesn't happen in every instance, but that's certainly what you hope for. And in terms of like, you know, growing and trying to become a better person, I'm still trying to do that, you know? Like it's work that's never complete, I don't think. Um, right? It's work that's never complete, I think. Um, because I'm certainly not done growing, learning, and becoming a better person. Like, um, I think I'm a pretty good husband, but I can be a better husband, you know? Um, I'm always trying to work on myself. And to be honest, I probably could do with like some actual like therapy, but I haven't gone yet. One of these days I will, because I've got some shit to unpack. Uh, Before it's because I couldn't afford it, and now it's like, I mean, therapy can be very expensive. Like finding affordable therapy for a lot of people is impossible. Um, Now, like I'm thankful I work a job where therapy at least is partially covered, so I really have no excuse to not do it. But I think now it's not so much a fear of going; it's just a time thing. You know, like trying to find the time to do it. Um, because back when I was more broke and couldn't afford it at all, I had a lot more time on my hands. But you got to make the time. You know, it's something important. I mean, it's mental health. It's just as important as any other type of like your physical health. You know, I think a lot of people will relate to this because a lot of people have the same experiences. Yeah, it's a lifelong process. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm glad you think a lot of people will relate. I hope so. A lot of people seem to relate to the quiet part out loud and the grief uh, element of that show. So hopefully I'll end up batting two for two. I'll keep batting 1,000. That's the hope. Speaking of stuff that I have at least partially covered, and I should do, but I need to make a dentist appointment. Another thing that I can't believe isn't covered by like, you know, I mean your teeth are extremely important. Yeah, it's like, oh no, you got to pay through the nose to actually get tooth care. Ridiculous. You need to do that too? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Now, here we go. This is some ASMR for y'all. Not seriously, but I mean, some people get ASMR from this sound. And for those of you who don't like the sound of tape, uh, apologies. You might want to mute this because we're going to be peeling some tape off and seeing how we did. Hey. I just noticed a spot that I missed. I'm kind of afraid because it's been so long. I'm sure I've got cavities or something. That's fair. I definitely have cavities. But at the same time, those cavities aren't going to get fixed unless I go. So, fortunately, your teeth oops, can't repair themselves. I wish they could. Make life a lot easier. But yeah, I'm sure I've got plenty of cavities too. I like the sweets too much, and I do brush my teeth. But I've told the story before. I'm gonna tell it again because we're talking about teeth. Um, I remember the last time I went to the dentist. It was just before COVID hit, um, which is another reason that I haven't gone for the longest time because it's like COVID hit and couldn't go, and then since then it's just been again like just time. Like time gets away from you and you don't realize how long it's been since you've been to the dentist. Um, but I one of the last times I went, a friend of ours, my wife's and I, is the dental assistant at this dental office. And so I was texting her after my appointment where they had to put in like some fillings, and I remember they told me the whole thing where like you're supposed to raise your left hand if you feel pain while we're drilling. So they were drilling out a whole bunch of stuff, and I kept raising my hand, and they would freeze some more, and I keep raising my hand. And at one point, they were finally like, "I'm sorry, sir, we can't give you any more freezing. Like we just can't give you any more." And I was like, "Well, I deserve this. I did this to myself." But anyway, I get home and I was like, I'm kind of distressed to my friend. I text her, I'm like, I'm kind of distressed because I take care of my teeth. I brush. I don't really floss, but I brush my teeth. Um, but I had so many cavities and I haven't changed my brushing habits and I haven't really changed my eating habits, but I got a lot of cavities. And she was like, oh, that's because you're black. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that means. I don't know what to take from that. And she was like, so um, genetically, black people are more. Well, I won't say all of them, but a lot of people with African heritage are more predisposed to cavities. But our teeth are firmly seated. So basically, she put it like, black people are more prone to cavities, but your teeth don't fall out. I was like, oh, well, that's good. So basically, I had a lot of cavities not because I wasn't brushing my teeth enough or because I was eating too many sweets or anything like that. It was just because as I get older, you're just more predisposed to cavities. I was like, oh, well, okay. So that's why I'm positive that I've got more cavities. I'm pretty sure a filling of mine also fell out, so I got to get that fixed. Got some paint on my pants. I'll be right back. Just gotta get some rubbing alcohol and get some paint off my jean. Yeah, I'm gonna show this live demonstration. Oh, you're definitely older, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I got some paint on my jeans here. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to lift my. Yeah, we got some paint on my jeans here. I'm gonna show you that putting rubbing alcohol on acrylic paint gets it out of fabric. It also gets it off any dried brushes that you have. So keep that in mind. So basically, we just put rub alcohol on there, and we just kind of rub, let it settle in. Now, this may have dried too much, but you will see that it ends up being less alcohol than it would, or less paint in my jeans than would be otherwise. Now, depending on the fabric of your clothing, you may not be able to use rubbing alcohol on it. So, as I would advise anybody, if you're going to paint, you should wear clothing that you're not worried about ruining. But me, I like to live dangerously. I feel like the whole world did a time jump, like on TV. Pre-pandemic to now was just a 5 year time. Yeah, yeah, I feel that too. I think a big part of it is the fact that like the world stopped for like a year, where you couldn't do anything, you know. And I mean for good reason, but I think that definitely contributed to that feeling, you know. What a wild time that was. I mean, the death and the anti-science rhetoric that was going around, notwithstanding, um, you know, you had people advising you to like wipe down your groceries when you got home, and it's like, what is happening? It was a scary time. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, and in the meantime, we'll get back to peeling some paint off this canvas. Hey, Nat, welcome in, welcome in. How are you? Oh, that's all right. Sometimes I don't even know that I'm streaming. I'm just kind of here. But I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day. How's the new place and the new job treating you? We're just peeling some paint off of this. I'm currently cooking, so lurking sorta. It's good to see you. Oh, it's good to see you too. I will give you, of course, my lurking song. If even if you're sort of lurking, you still get the song. I always feel like somebody's watching me. It was lovely chatting with you again. It's about midnight, so I'm gonna head to sleep. Oh, that's right. Yes, because you were overseas. Yes. Um, well, I hope you have a wonderful night. And yeah, I hope to see you too. Hope to see you again too. It was lovely chatting with you as always. I always like it when we get to talk. Comic book kitties. So I hope you have a wonderful night, and thank you for coming in. Always lovely to see you. Ah, and well, there's one more strip to go. Now this tape is the tape I'm kind of worried about. This is painter's tape. This isn't painter's tape. This is just regular old masking tape, but it worked really, really well. I have no idea what this painter's tape is going to do because I've had bad luck with it before. See, it did okay, but there was that little bit. I'm gonna have to get more of this masking tape, but that's okay. It's okay. I can deal with that. Okay, so that is two canvases down that have this these two colors on it. You're making pork chops and garlic risotto. Ooh, 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 ooh. That sounds delicious. It's been a long time since I had a good risotto, so I'm definitely gelling. Does anybody remember those commercials? The Dr. Scholl's gel insoles where uh, they were like, "Hey, I'm gelling. Are you gelling? Yeah, I'm definitely gelling." I don't know why that sticks in my head, but oh, you never made risotto yourself before? Nice, nice. Well, hopefully it turns out great. So, what are the stripes for? I will give you the rundown while you're cooking. I'm doing some work for uh, this new exhibition idea that I have, anybody but myself. So basically, what I'm doing here is I'm going to create a mosaic of like three different people's faces, um, and they're all going to be mosaic together. So basically, um, there's going to be one face per color, per stripe. Um, so it'll be like sideways like this, right? Um, and the blue is gonna have like one person's face on it. The yellow is gonna have another person's face on it, and the I think it's the brown that's gonna be on here. Is gonna have the third person's face on it. And that's the whole idea behind it. Um, that's the thinking. Um, and so far of the because it's gonna be nine people in total. So far, eight of the nine people have gotten back to me and said that I can use their likeness. So, and sent me a picture that I could use. So, and Jake and his wife are going to be two of them. So I'm very excited for that. All right, since we have both yellow and blue paint on our palette already, we're going to come back to this canvas and do the third stripe, which is going to be green, a pale green. Put that up there, and we will. At least this is the green one, right? Yeah, it has to be. Let me just check my reference. Yeah, so blue, yellow, green, blue, yellow, green, blue, yellow, green, yellow, blue, green. Yes, okay, we're good. We're good. Thank you, Nat. Yeah, I was very excited that all of them are game. The final person, they didn't say no, they just haven't gotten back to me yet. Also, it's funny how this like this whole double face thing. Uh, hopefully, hopefully it's not too annoying for y'all. Uh, Oop, I have to put some more rubbing alcohol on my pants because I spilled some paint on it. There we go. Okay. This. Continue drying our brush. And we're gonna need some more white paint, which I have right here. So they need a lot of it. Okay, come on, paint. There's no need to be making that noise. Okay, that's enough. Ah, all right. So I'm gonna grab some yellow and some blue, boatload of white, because I want this to be the squishy noise. I didn't hear, but I can imagine. Yeah, I know it sounded like It sounded like someone relieving themselves. And I do want this green to be more blue than yellow. Oh, you know what? Shit, I gotta actually put some tape on here. so we can actually like differentiate. Yeah, it wasn't the most pleasant sound in the world, but it was funny. So the green that's going on here will not be the same green color as this tape. It's gonna be much more muted, much more muted. And much paler. All of these are fairly pale colors, like because this isn't like a bright yellow. It's definitely more muted yellow. Honestly, the best kind of yellow. My childhood bedroom used to be that color, maybe even more pastel. Nice, nice. Yeah, pastel. That's the name for it. Ah, Winnie the Pooh theme. Nice, nice. I have an aunt who absolutely loves Winnie the Pooh. Like my mom was obsessed with snowmen, right? She loves snowman figurines. Like around Christmas time, we'd always have like snowman stuff around, you know. And that's my aunt with the Winnie the Pooh stuff. Well, one of my many aunts. I've got a lot of aunts. Ah, my mom likes Snoopy's best. Yeah, Snoopy's great too. I'm a big fan of Snoopy. I watched a great documentary about Charles Schultz, and let me tell you, it was a fantastic documentary. But if there was anybody on the face of this planet who could have afforded go to therapy every once and again, it was Charles Schultz. I am not. I don't want to jump on this trend of you know diagnosing people over the internet. But I mean, Charles Schultz is dead. He's been long dead. Um, but man, that dude had some undiagnosed depression if I've ever seen it, or at the very least, an anxiety disorder. But he made some great comics. Comics that I have to say I quite related to growing up. I definitely saw a lot of myself in Charlie Brown. Real, I feel like remembering hearing something about that. Like Charlie Brown was kind of him. Oh yeah, Charlie Brown was 100% him. And if I remember from the documentary correctly, Lucy was based on his first wife, and Snoopy was his family dog from when he was a child. Because they had a beagle when he was growing up. So that's where Snoopy came from. Yeah, he based a lot of that strip on his own life and his own anxieties and what he felt were shortcomings and all that. There was a lot of that going on. For sure, for sure. I dripped some blue paint on this. See if I can make that yellow color on my finger. I'm gonna block that out. But yeah, homeboy could have used some therapy. But in that time, like, very few people were going to therapy, you know? And if you were going to therapy, you were seen as weak, you know? Which is just very unfortunate. Huh. I was talking about therapy earlier and how I could probably use some. Oh, I think my wife just got home. Ah, she's heading home now. Especially men, but yeah, no, especially men. You don't go to therapy, you don't talk about your feelings. The only emotion you're allowed to express is anger. Otherwise, it's best to be just stoic. I mean, hey, if you choose to be stoic, that's fine. But it's also healthy to express emotions every once in a while. I'm going to give. Oh well, thanks for hanging out, El, and thank you very much for the raid again. Very much appreciated. I hope you have a wonderful dinner. Uh, Feel free to tell us what you're having, but definitely have a fantastic rest of your evening. And thanks for hanging out, and thank you again for the raid. All right, let's get this green color on here. Yeah, that's the tone that I want. A lot of paint on my brush. Now, getting this tone to match is going to be a bit of a trick, just because of the relative lack. But because again, I'm not pouring this color out of a tube. I got to make it on the palette. So this color might have a little bit more variance to it than the other two, but that's okay. Because the other two is basically just the paint that's straight out of the tube plus white. But this green, I have to create this green every time I come to the palette. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully I can get it at least semi-consistent. Thank you, Nat. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I was definitely going for a more muted color palette. Ah, it's a- there was a hair on my brush. There. Can you mix a bunch of it at a time? I can, but the thing is, this is acrylic paint, right? So if I mix too much of it at one time, it'll just dry on me, and then it's no good for anybody. Um, so it's a little bit of a balancing act. If this was oil paint, it'd be really easy. But I didn't want to use oil because then when it came time to actually put the figures in these, I would have to wait longer. So I opted for not doing that. That might have been too much white, but whatever. Be a little bit lighter on this side. I don't care. I always get, well, not always, but sometimes I get paranoid that I'm missing people's messages too much when it like I always have this fear that like someone new is gonna come into the chat and I'm not gonna see their message because I'm like painting, and then they'll be like, "Oh no, they're ignoring me." So in case any of you have to, I promise I'm not ignoring you. I just get focused on painting, and then it's like, "Oh no, I gotta look at chat," because by some miracle, there are people actually watching and wanting to like interact with me while I do this, which is I'm very thankful for. Because Lord knows y'all could be doing something else with your time, and the fact that you choose to spend it with me is a blessing. Oh my God, they have to be smart enough to know that you're not always looking at chat. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But you know, sometimes I worry about it, as you do. Also, not to say that the pandemic made me jaded, because I don't think it made me jaded, thankfully. But I also thought that people were smart enough to know that the world isn't flat and that vaccines can be safe and are safe. And, you know, a lot of other stuff that I've given people the benefit of the doubt over and have been have been proven wrong time and time again that, oh no, maybe they don't know that. You know? Yeah, given your wealth, yeah, you know, you know what I'm talking about. You're picking up what I'm putting down. white. This is part of the challenge that I like about the fact that I only use 5 colors, is the fact that I have to try to make this consistent mix of colors on the palette. Part of the fun, you know? Sort of like a game within the game. Sort of like when Michael Jordan and the Bulls were playing the Denver Nuggets, and Dikembe Mutombo, the center of the Nuggets, bet Michael that he wouldn't be able to make a free throw with his eyes closed. And Michael's like, "Oh yeah, watch this," and then hit a free throw with his eyes closed. You know, kind of playing a game within a game. Okay, that's 2 down. What time is it? 7:34. Okay, you've got plenty of time. I'm just gonna flip the canvas around now. And we'll continue on this side. We're gonna grab some more yellow, some more blue. Mix that up. Grab some white. Some more yellow and some more blue. Some more blue. Some more white. And away we go. Dark. That's okay. And this doesn't have to be like a straight, it doesn't have to be the straight same color all the way across. I want it to be as consistent as possible. But if there's some variance with the lights and darks within it, that's perfectly fine. I don't need it to be the exact same color all the way across. Like a wall color. I just need it to be mostly consistent. One thing I do want to keep consistent as much as I can, though, is the brush strokes. I want this to be as smooth as possible. Oh, there's another hair in here. Get out of there. Messing up my vibe. Oh, my wife just got home. I just heard I just heard her lock thing go on her car. Her massage session went well. She injured her shoulder quite a while ago, and it's taking its sweet time to heal. So in between physio, she also goes to get massages. Help it feel better. I think what we'll do is we'll finish up the stripes on this one, and then I'll peel the tape off, of course. Get that ASMR in there for you. And then I think I'll call that a stream. Because my plan for the next time, I mean, I'm probably going to do some of this like off camera as well, but on the palette, because we went from blue to green because those colors are already on the palette, right? The yellow and the blue. So it's like, well, we might as well do the green next. And then after that, there's also a pale red, a pale purple, and a pale brown. So my step next is going to be doing the red, because that'll just be red and white. Then after that, we're going to mix the red and blue together to make the pale purple, and then mix the red, yellow, blue, and white all together to make the pale brown. So those are my next steps. So this canvas is next to this one here. It's going to be the last one to be finished because the brown is going to be the last color to go on on its respective canvas. So there's a bit of a method to my madness. Just a bit though, not too much. Start working out too much method and people start thinking you know what you're doing. You can't have that. Because if people think they know what you're doing, then they start getting expectations. It's like, no. You gotta quit all that shit. That's how I feel about being done tasks too quickly. Yeah. Yep. Because it's not like, oh man, that was impressive. Thanks for getting that done so quick. It's like, oh, you got that done quick. Here's 10 other things you can do. Which I mean, is fair in a way because I mean, there's stuff that needs to get done, but like you don't need to like immediately pile stuff on. Yo, I hope I say this right. The Abendazzle, Abendazzle. Thank you very much for the follow. Very much appreciated. Welcome on in. I hope you enjoy your stay. While we just have some fun, painting some things and playing some games. But welcome in. Thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, and then like if it takes me longer, I feel they're like, oh, you're not done yet, right? Yeah. Exactly, because they set up those expectations in their minds. Because, of course, on the previous one that you did quickly, right, they weren't there looking at you every single second, seeing what it is that you were doing. There are many reasons why a task may take less time than usual, you know? Many, many reasons. All right, we got one more. So let me angle this down a bit more so y'all can see it. And let me stop that from shaking, because nobody wants that. Nobody wants no earthquakes up in here. I'm really hoping that this tape doesn't have a whole lot of bleed to it, because the other tape I was using was very crisp, but I ran out of the tape. Well, that's a very flattering angle of me. I'm hoping there's not a whole lot of bleed because I'm not using a whole lot of paint. And I'm not soaking the edges of this. But you never know. Paint is very temperamental. You never know how it's going to react. Might be too light. Yellow and blue to darken that up a bit. You might notice that paint collects at the very bottom of your brush here, like right near the metal that keeps the bristles clipped in. So you can always actually just kind of like wipe your brush on the canvas to get that little bit of extra paint that's there. Because it's going to be pretty much the same colors that you've been working with. So just a little tip there. If you're looking to get that color without going back to your palette, you can do that. There we go. All right. I will put this down. Wipe this paint off my finger. Ah. Also, I'm gonna show you all this because I said I was going to early because I spilled some paint on my jeans. You can see here, there's a little bit of ring around here, but if you wash the jeans, like that'll go away, or even if you like use some water on it, that's just some residue from the rubbing alcohol. But as you can see, the paint itself, the bright blue paint that was there, is gone. So rubbing alcohol takes acrylic paint out of fabric and off of brushes. So just keep that in mind if you ever get some acrylic paint on you. All right, let's see how bad the damage is. Oh, that's pretty clean. That's pretty clean. Okay. All right. We're off to a good start. That's not bad. Now, this is what I'm worried about, the green and yellow. But again, not too bad, not too bad. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm impressed with how that turned out. Okay. All right, not too shabby. Just painted that middle one, so I'm gonna leave that one to dry for a second. As I get more, as I get more paint on my pants. Okay, more rubbing alcohol it is. Like I said, your moves may vary, or your mileage may vary, depending on the fabric that you're using the rubbing alcohol on and how dry the paint is. Hey, welcome back, El. How was dinner? Hope it was delicious. Yes, we're looking very stripy. We're just taking the last of this tape off. It was fine. Fair, fair. Yeah, not every dinner is gonna be a home run. But as long as it was mostly tasty and filling. That was a really nice line. That was a very nice line. Got a little bit of a spillage from the white paint and still some blue there. That's okay. Those are just touch-ups that are fairly easy to do. Dang, that was a nice line too. Okay, maybe this painter's tape is all right. I'm gonna have to touch up some of this too because you can still see some of the canvas in it, but that's okay. And now I'll flip this back around without actually putting the canvas on my pants this time. And we'll pull off these last two strips. I think the key is I didn't like to have a boatload of paint when I was doing these. so I wasn't like soaking the edge in paint because I know that that can sometimes cause problems in terms of maintaining a nice straight edge. Okay, there we go. Ah, thank you, Matt. So, which direction does this go? I think it's this way. Let's hang this up on here. That stays there. There we go. We got a bunch of stripes. There we are. Risotto came out great. Pork chops are mid. Oh no. But I mean, I think that's a victory because you had never made risotto before, so I'd say it's a victory. Every time I hear risotto, I think of Seinfeld with his girlfriend who they're talking about risotto. Could be Ernie's sweater in here. Yes, you're right. It took longer than I thought, but worth it. There you go. That's all that matters. Very, very good. All right. Well, I think that that's gonna do it for today's edition of the stream. I don't have any art friends doing anything. Does anyone else have any art friends doing anything? Because if not, we'll just say hi to Based Windu playing some Fall Guys. Um, but yeah, this is we finished one of the we finished one of the canvases. Not bad, not bad at all. And it turned out pretty well. I'm very pleased with that because this is also like all three colors are light enough that I'll be able to do what I want. Uh, Also, L, actually, I'm glad step one in a many step process. You're right. Thank you for stream. I can't wait to see the updates. Oh, of course. Thank you for coming in and saying hello and watching me do this. One step in, like L said, a many step process. Speaking of which, L, I am actually going to use transfer paper. So my plan is I'm going to get some like big like sketch paper that's at least 30 to 32 inches long, right? So either 30 inches or 36, because this is 32 inches. But I don't need like the person's head is probably going to end like 2 inches from the top, so 30 will also work. Um, and what I'm going to do is on the sketch paper, I'm going to draw the outlines of these people's faces, um, and then from that, I'm going to cut those into strips and then use the transfer paper to trace the drawings that I do on here, and then I'll draw or paint on here. I haven't decided that yet, but that's my plan. Because I was just gonna draw on here, but I'm thinking that might be the safer route to get these people to actually look like themselves is for me to draw them out on the sketch paper first. Um, so that's my idea. I mean, it was your idea. I'm taking it. Glad you're not gonna make more work for yourself. Yeah, me too. Me too. Because more work is a snooze. All right. Well, we're gonna go say hi to Base Windu. He's a good dude and playing some Fall Guys, and it's always fun hanging out over there. Um, so thank you everybody for coming on in. If you want to put a raid message, it's of course courtesy of Super Redria. This raid's got soul. Put whatever emojis you want in there. Fall Guys is on my no-go list. Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. Um, but yeah, thank you all for coming in. Really do. Did my music stop? It did. Thank you all for coming in. Elle, thank you again for the raid. Very much appreciated. Um, And Rain, thank you for the glug, and the Abin Dazal. Hopefully, I'm saying your name right, Abin Dazzle. Thank you very much for the follow. Really do appreciate all y'all. And next stream is going to be on Sunday, probably 10 or 11 a.m. Playing some Celeste, and then we'll be back to doing this stuff next Monday. So stay tuned for that. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. If I don't see you, and excuse me. Thanks, Nat. You too. Let's go say hi to Based Windu. Take it easy, everybody.